He sat quietly in the back row, an old veteran with silver hair and worn hands, watching his daughter graduate in her Marine dress blues, until Marine General suddenly froze mid-step, staring at the faded tattoo on the old man's forearm. The old veteran arrived early, long before the ceremony began, choosing a seat near the back where he wouldn't draw attention. He preferred it that way. His name was Daniel Walker, though almost no one here knew it. To them, he was just another proud father with silver hair, weathered skin, and eyes that carried decades of quiet memories. He sat with his hands folded, watching the rows of Marines in training assemble with perfect precision. When his daughter, Emily, marched onto the parade ground in her dress blues, his chest tightened. She stood taller than he remembered, sharper, stronger. Years ago, he'd promised himself she would never know the worst parts of his past, and today, he hoped that promise would hold. As the ceremony unfolded, a Marine general stepped forward to address the graduates. General Thomas Hale was known across the Corps, a legend with 4 stars and a reputation for steel discipline. As he walked along the front row, inspecting the formation, his gaze drifted briefly toward the families in attendance. That was when he saw it. Just for a split second, beneath the sleeve of Daniel's old jacket, a faded tattoo caught the sunlight. Simple, black ink, a symbol most people would miss. But General Hale didn't. His stride slowed. His voice faltered. And then, to the shock of everyone present, he stopped completely. The band fell silent. Marines held their posture, confused. The general turned, not toward the graduates, but toward the crowd. His eyes locked onto Daniel. The tension was instant and electric. Daniel noticed the sudden hush and looked up, confused, meeting the general's stare. For a moment, the world seemed to narrow between the two men. The general took an unsteady breath and stepped off the ceremonial line, something no one had ever seen him do before. Emily noticed the shift from her position. Her heart raced. Had something gone wrong? Was someone in trouble? The general stopped directly in front of her father. Slowly, deliberately, he raised a hand, not in command, but in respect, and rendered a sharp, unmistakable salute. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Marines whispered under their breath. A general saluting a civilian was unheard of. "Sir," General Hale said quietly, his voice thick with emotion, "I didn't expect to see you here." Daniel's jaw tightened. "You must be mistaken," he replied calmly. "I'm just here for my daughter." The general shook his head. "No, sir. That tattoo, I'd recognize it anywhere. Raven 9, his voice dropped. "You saved my platoon in Kandahar." Emily's breath caught. Raven 9? She had never heard that name. Her father never talked about his service beyond vague mentions of logistics and support roles. The general turned to the audience, his composure cracking. "This man," he said, "was declared missing in action in 2003. Officially presumed dead. Unofficially a ghost." The crowd was stunned. Daniel closed his eyes briefly, as if weighing a lifetime of silence. Then he opened them and spoke. "I didn't come back because I wanted medals or recognition," he said. "I came back because I wanted a family, and because some wars don't end when you leave the battlefield." The general nodded slowly. "You stayed behind to cover our evacuation. You held the line alone for 6 hours." His voice broke. "We thought you died there." "I almost did," Daniel replied. "But I made a promise, to myself and to the men who didn't make it home, that I'd live quietly, without glory." Emily felt tears stream down her face. The man she thought she knew suddenly stood revealed as someone else entirely. A man who had carried unimaginable weight without ever letting it touch her life. The general turned back to the formation and snapped to attention. "Marines," he commanded, "today you graduate alongside the reason many of us are standing here at all." In unison, the entire formation rendered a salute toward Daniel. The sound of boots shifting and hands snapping echoed like thunder. Daniel swallowed hard, emotion finally breaking through decades of restraint. He returned a slow, imperfect salute, not as a general, not as a hero, but as a father who had finally been seen. After the ceremony, Emily embraced him tightly. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" she whispered. Daniel smiled softly. because I wanted you to choose this life for yourself, not because of who I was." As they walked away together, the general watched from a distance, knowing some legends aren't written in history books. They sit quietly in the back row, proud of their children. I sure subscribe to the channel.